I'm Reverend Ivy Rivera, Psychic Medium, coming to you from the Ivy League Psychic Academy in Buffalo, New York. We're located at 4511 Main Street, Amherst. And what we do here is we train people in psychic mediumship development, tarot, astrology, Reiki, all things energetic and curious, and we can Skype you in from around the world if you can't actually get here to join us. So feel free to look up more about the Ivy League Psychic Academy on the website, so that would be .com. And this is the Ask a Medium show. So thanks for joining us for the live interactive show here on Ustream. What we like to do on this show is take your questions, and I'll try to get to as many as I can. So what you guys can do is text them in to 716-602-1391. You can also, where are we going with that, Kara?
Actually, you can go to the Ask a Medium event page on Facebook, and it's Ask a Medium Ustream, and it's for today's date, obviously. So you can type your questions in the comment section there, or log into Ustream, and you could post them right into the feed. There is a button to the right where it says video stream and social stream. Just click on the social stream. You'll still be able to watch the video. Type in your question there, and it'll pop up, and I'll read it off to Ivy here.
Beyond me, that's magical. So if it's going to work, Kara's got it under control.
One other thing I'd like to mention to you, Ivy, and this is a surprise to Ivy.
Thank you.
We now have an Ask a Medium Dropbox here at the Academy, and it's where like students or customers or clients are able to write an anonymous question. Okay. We'll read it on the shows every week, and we do have our first question in the box today, so it's right over there, Ivy, whenever you're ready. We also have a question coming up on Ustream, and you let me know where you want to start.
Where's the box?
Right there, the chalkboard with the little...
This? Oh, that's wild. Okay, good. All right, very cool. Okay, so there are lots of options for you guys to send in your questions, and like I said, I'll try to get to as many as I can. The thing is, the show, you know, is rather short. I also do a radio show on Tuesday nights on ParaX Radio, also called Ask a Medium. And that's at 7 p.m. Tuesday evenings. That's Eastern time, and it's right before Down the Rabbit Hole. So you could also catch us there and send in your questions that way if you're looking to book a full reading with me. I do them internationally, phone, Skype, email, and you can come down to the Academy where I have an office. So you would look up more information on that at ivyriverapsychicmedium.com. Okay. I really just don't feel like talking today about a lesson plan, so I'm really not going to, but I am just going to say this before I start getting to the questions. I worked with some very young people this previous week. Super exciting for me. I love to pay it forward that way. And I really discovered my gift as a child, but I started reading in full readings when I was 15 because someone had paid it forward to me and found me. And what I want to say to everybody, regardless of your age, is that if you think that you have these abilities, you do. It's not a gift. This is not something to put up on a pedestal, and there's nothing wrong with it. This is very natural. It's as natural as can be. And whether it be psychic ability, mediumistic ability, communicating with spirits on the other side, or empathic ability, which is reading energy, you can have a lot of side effects that would resemble bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety disorders, fibromyalgia, ADHD, ADD, OCD. All of these things are very largely connected to having the ability to a heightened degree and not really knowing how to handle it. So anyone you know, or if you yourself are having any of these issues, feel free to contact me on Facebook or otherwise, and I can give you some insight into classes that you could take. Okay, I don't feel like teaching tonight, so that's enough of that. Okay, so here's the first question that we have. Ivy, there is a man I've been interested in and I care deeply for over 2 years now. I feel like he feels the same for me. Is there anything I should or could do to facilitate a romantic/sexual relationship with this man? And then at the end we have some stuttering. With man. So I can feel, okay, here it comes. Beyond friendship. Okay. There's something in this that holds a lot of energy. Okay, I should or could do to facilitate. And when I saw those words pop off the page, it was like, whoa. should I or could I? So I'm going to have to kind of go there first. Okay, and this is from Kristen. So Kristen, understand this. I have your relationship guide here, and I feel like I have a grandmother from him. So let me just sort of see. Okay, as far as he's concerned, it's another like 4 months or so before there's a really open doorway, okay, according to his grandmother, or an open pathway where you would be sort of allowed to get in there. Around that time, I actually have you very highly distracted with somebody else. And I feel like this is a common theme, okay? Your relationship guide is showing me common themes where it's like when he's available, you're not. When you're available, he's not. Back and forth and around we go. It just doesn't ever seem, and don't misunderstand this, this isn't about timing, this is about priorities. You're going to have to make him a priority during that time. And I'm not saying cut loose whoever you're with necessarily, but you may want to keep it real light, okay, when you're out that period of time, and be like, I just know something's coming, and I'm just not going to commit to anything, because it does feel like you'll be tempted to commit and lock this thing out. During that time, he's really going through a period of self-discovery where I feel like he doesn't actually want to get involved with anyone, which is a new theme for him. He feels like a bit of a playboy to me, but he also feels like he's always experimenting with relationships. And this is going to be a period of time for him when he doesn't want to touch either one. And that's very interesting. I feel a lot of growth, development, and friendship. And if nothing else during that time, you guys could take the friendship and bring it on to a whole new level, which would be undeniably romantic beyond that time. So, and I have like butterflies, like I feel like, ugh, I like kind of don't like it. I feel like after that time, okay, and for whatever reasons, they keep showing me summer too, which shouldn't equal out to exactly 4 months, but I don't know. There's something about it being very warm in summertime. During that time, what I'm really watching you do is not be able to ignore ever again that you guys had this connection. So once it's out, it's really out. I'm not saying it's part of every conversation, but it will be in the forefront in a real way. So ride it out a little while longer. Something may also come up in about 4 days, because I do feel like there's a double meaning with that 4. So pay attention for that. Just keep going forward. There's nothing you need to do to manipulate it. Just be observant of what I just said. Okay, my phone's acting up. Everything's sideways when it shouldn't be. What do you have?
That's okay. We have a question that came in actually 38 minutes ago on Ustream. So
oh, good. Thanks, guys. Yeah, you can send them in early.
Yeah, so that's very cool, guys. We appreciate that. This one, I love the name. It's Lemon Rice Rules. I just think that's so cute.
It does.
Do you see a marriage with me and current guy? Thanks, Ivy. You rock.
Okay, Lemon Rice. Let's see what's going on. Do I see marriage with you and the current guy? I feel like there's some potential for it to happen. I feel as though this person, though, is not completely rooted and grounded and always ready for that kind of a thing. So it seems to me that there could be almost like, yes, I am today, but I'm not 100% positive that I am tomorrow. There seems to be a far more stability with you in this, where you know, I feel like you're ready. I feel like you're ready, and there aren't many things going on in your head that make you say, "What if this thing doesn't, you know, last?" Or "What if this were to change?" In his head, however, he does seem to have a couple chronic fears that show up and then would make me feel like, well, what if this? Well, what if that? And it seems to not just be the type of thing that pops up and then goes away. It seems to be more like the kind of thing that spirals into some other behavior instead of like, I caught that, I'm not going to think that way, that's it. So I think that before you would be wise to fully commit, because I'm not saying it's not an option, I'm just telling you what to watch for. Before you would fully commit to that, I would actually be watchful of that kind of behavior. And you may not see it until after the proposal. So make sure that you've got a consistent partner there. Before you could take that ring, but before you go to that altar, you better make sure, okay, that there's consistency there. I do feel like he has the potential to overcome it, but I think that he needs a little guidance in understanding how he is. He seems a little out of touch with always identifying his behaviors being connected to a deep-rooted, bigger issue. So point it out as many times as you feel like you need to. Don't overdo it, okay? But get the job done. And yeah, I feel a lot of potential there. Always exciting. You guys have a great energy together. So a ton of luck with that. Thank you so much for that question. I want to move on to a couple text questions that are coming in. We have from a Nick. Hi, Ivy. My question is, I have to open it. Look at that's magic. Okay. Will I ever get to see my mom more? Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Nick. Will you ever get to see your mom more? You know, I feel like you will, but it feels as though it comes in bouts. It's like there's a period of time where we're actually getting quite close, and then there's a pull away. And then there's another period of time when we're getting close again, and then there's a pull away. And I feel like that can actually be more distressing than staying away. Your job in this, your lesson in this is going to be to accept it for whatever it is. Sometimes with someone beautiful in your life, you have to just be like, I enjoy whatever time we have together, and if it doesn't end up being more, then it doesn't end up being more. This would be one of those. There's a ton of benefit. I want to say more for her than for you. It seems that she learns a lot from you. She grows from you. And it seems like sometimes there's almost a flip of parent-child energy going on there. Like you're more worried about her. Okay, now what I'm seeing with this is that when you guys reach these periods of time where you're really spending them together, then there's like this big divide in between. I think that you need to be very realistic about that, not let your energy dip too low, okay, on the in-betweens. It also feels to me like it's very purposeful when it happens. Like it's not just us hanging out, you know, all the time, just like having coffee. It feels like there's a bigger reason for it. So be mindful that around times when you need to be supporting each other, that it will be there. And then into the future, I'm seeing more long-term and consistency with it. Okay, thank you so much for that question. Now I want to move on to let's see, 343 number. Evening, Ivy. Good evening. Could you please ask my work guides if they see any changes in the next year? Okay. Also, if possible, could you ask my money guides, who is actually the same guide, if tonight is a good night for me? Okay. From Sue. Maybe Sue's at bingo. I don't know. Maybe Sue's at the casino. So your money and work guide are, as far as I've ever been able to tell, the same person. So whenever I'm giving someone a reading and I'm talking about money and finances, and possibly they're not actually working, that doesn't change it. It's all the same thing. So as far as long term, what I'm seeing with the money is a movement into prosperity. It feels like for a while, and they're giving me 6, so at least 6 months, but it feels like we're going along, really nothing's changing, and then all of a sudden, there's a lot of prosperity coming into you and a check being written out. And so whether that's like a settlement or a sale, it feels like here it comes. Now that's good. I also feel like there's something else that would come up after that involves other people, where they would be sort of giving you a cut or giving you a portion, you'd be getting it from them. That's also good. That feels to me like a lot of release of negative energy around that. That's where your real prosperity is. Once that energy level gets up, it feels like everything else is kind of growing and going upward. It looks to me like the next 2 years are really going to be pretty much moving upward on a consistent basis. And I think that you're really supposed to be doing what you've been doing. I don't get a ton of change as far as your actual career is concerned. I get little bouts of other things, outside sources of money going on. Yeah, and it's the same guide, so that's basically the answer to that. Thank you so much for that question. I have a 679 number coming in. Okay. She says, my name is Melissa. Are my guides trying to give me information or tell me something? I feel like a little bit of anxiety going on with you. I almost get the sense that you're having like anxiety attacks. I feel like you're worried, and I feel like you're looking at work, and you're looking at, which could also mean money, but it felt like work, a work situation. It almost feels like something kind of threatening coming in there. I'm not saying that it is, I'm saying that's how you're perceiving it. And so what could be going on is that we're trying to sort of get you to see more clearly. I do have your work and money guide here, but I don't feel like I'm trying to calm you. I feel like I'm trying to get you to hear me more than anything, and that will then take care of everything else on its own. I think that what would be wise for you is to meditate, not necessarily in the traditional sense, where you sit for extended periods of time in silence. If you're high strung like me and most of my students, that may not happen so easily. What you can do is sit in a dark room with the lights off, with your eyes open. You could also just go and be in a quiet spot, like on the water. You can get a lot more information. So if you're near a waterfront, put your feet down in the dirt somewhere. God bless you. And you could keep a notepad and a pen and just listen. Just sort of let your mind wander and ask them that question. What is it that I've been missing? What is the message? Also, you need to be analyzing your dreams more. And the key to doing this is not moving when you wake up. When you wake up, you're getting a ton of information. If you try to get a drink of water, go up and go to the bathroom, it's going to be pulled right out of your head. So keep a notepad and a pen in the bed at all times. When you wake up, start jotting down those symbols and look them up. A great dream dictionary is called The Dreamer's Dictionary. It was reissued in '95, and it was written by Tom Corbett, Corbett, and Lady Stern Robinson, a psychiatrist and a psychic. And it's an amazing book. You can also do A to Z Dream Dictionary through Google and start looking up the symbols. That's primarily what they're talking about with you. I also sense a little bit of relationship stuff going on. I think you need to be careful, make sure you're speaking your piece. Don't listen to everything people are putting on you. You have way too much information coming in from family and whatnot, and it's like you need to start ignoring them more. Why even address it? If it doesn't feel good, just be like, I gotta go. I gotta go, and I didn't even hear it, and let it go. Let it go more often. Okay, thank you for that question. I have a 997 number. Hi, Ivy. This is Marcus. Oh, okay, awesome. We talked last week at the high school. Hi, Marcus. So fabulous. My question is, how can I further manifest my empathic abilities? Okay, that's a great question. Okay, so Marcus was one of the high schoolers that I went and I spoke in front of last week. Okay, harvesting your empathic ability. It's funny, okay, manifesting your empathic ability, harvesting. This is funny. This is, that in the question itself is very telling. You kind of really don't, in a way, want to harvest or manifest your empathic abilities. You want to learn how to control them. You want to learn how to eliminate the negative side effects from them because they can be very overwhelming. You want to learn how to turn it on and off. You want to learn how to identify what is mine versus what belongs to others. You want to be able to allow the energy in when it's appropriate and remember to give it back out, versus I'm going to block right now. The Empathic Means class, I try to hold it at the Academy once a month. The next one is in February, not sure exactly when, but you can look it up on ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. And Empathic Means class, it's a lecture. It'll train you in how to do all of this. It's a 2-hour lecture. And it's very affordable. It's $25. You guys can Skype in from anywhere also to take that. So that's how you typically handle empathic ability. However, if you feel like you've already figured all of this out and you want to harness it, best thing you can do is to start giving psychic mediumship readings to people and delivering messages, and also get into like Reiki or some other form of healing. And holy cow, you open up Pandora's box. Know that once you start doing that, it's really quite unstoppable. So you're going to have to maintain and use good spiritual hygiene at all times. So the original lessons you learned, it's going to increase. You're going to have to manage all that. Thank you, Marcus. That's an awesome question. It was so good meeting you last week. Stay in touch. Okay. I have a 239 number, and then I'm going to get to some of the questions on Facebook. So if you guys sent things in to the Facebook post I made, I'll be getting to that next. Okay. From a 239, I've been having dreams about armies marching and me carving letters on my body. I had that too a week ago. That's bizarre. Does this mean anything? I'm a big fan, by the way, from Anonymous. You're a big fan, huh? That's bizarre. I just had that dream last week and I posted it, I believe. Well, okay. So yeah, I think that the carving of the letters, yeah, the carving of the letters on the body would appear, and from my own personal experience, because I had never actually seen that before, it felt to me like it was a past life regression. I was watching someone actually carving into my arm. So what that meant for me was that whoever was influencing me in that past life may very well be around me right now, kind of carving directions into my body. And I was not particularly having it. I was not loving the experience. I was watching it from a distance as myself, watching my past self have this carved into my arm. So I would say it this way. For me, it pertained to somebody else doing this to me, and I have to be observant of who I have around me right now that's trying to manipulate. As far as you're concerned, if you were doing the carving yourself, sounds like your higher mind is trying to give you instructions about what direction to go in, or that a part of you is trying to manipulate maybe another part of you. That's how I would interpret that. I've never seen it before, so that's as much as I can really help. As far as wars and armies are concerned, a lot of us have that. I would also say that that's probably past life connection. It could be, though, the fact that you're talking about carving into yourself, we're talking about manipulative energy of one part of your thinking with another part of you. A war would also back that theory, meaning it's coming at you from a couple different directions and trying to really get your attention. So I think that you would be very wise to figure out what it really is that you want in life, who you really are, and what you believe, and then get rid of all the junk that's not working for you, so that you stop being in chaos and in battle with yourself on whatever topic this is. Thank you so much. That was a great question. Yeah. Okay, good. So I said that I was going to, we have a couple more coming in through text, but you guys be patient with me while I find my Facebook post here. Can you do a little plug on the Academy and the things we are selling here to represent local artists and authors and stuff?
Yeah, actually, I'd love to.
And we're doing the sale too for the holiday.
Yeah, here at Ivy League Psychic Academy, we do have a huge range of local artists and actually authors who hand make their stuff. They will hand make it. They bring it in. We have paintings, artwork. We have aromatherapy oils. We carry the doTERRA essential oils. We have rocks and knots, handmade jewelry. We have Reiki shells that are hand knitted by Amy Liss, as well as clearing feathers. Is that the right word for those, Ivy?
Clearing feathers, right. The feathers that you can use to clear your house with sage. It's something people commonly do.
Okay.
They use a feather to go through with the sage and clear. And so we have both available here. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yeah, I just like to give a quick mention. We have feng shui items from Linda Ellison. We have trees trunk jewelry made by our own Teresa Matuzak, who is just a beautiful person.
Co-host on Tuesday's radio show.
Yes, which is fantastic. So if you miss this on Sundays, tune in to Ask a Medium live on Para X Radio Tuesdays at 7 p.m. But yeah, we stop into the Academy. The new shop hours are Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 6:30 to 10 p.m. and Fridays, 6 to 10 p.m. So if you do need crystals, sage, smudge sticks, jewelry, henna, incense burners, stop in, see Ivy. You can also schedule readings with her as well.
And I am running a special right now for the holidays. So it's 30% off a reading, and then if you want to bring in a friend, it's 50% off for your friend's reading. Thank you, Carol. Look at me go. All right, I found the feed. After a million years, I realize now I way overpost, and I should not overpost on days when I'm doing a show. I can't find what I need. And every time they update Facebook on my phone, it is not an update. It is more of a hassle to find something. So I'm not pressing that update button anymore. Forget about it. I'll live in the Stone Age. So, okay, I'm going to get on to these questions I have from a Steven on Facebook. Hi, Ivy. I always have spirits lined up. Okay, that's interesting.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's not the most common thing. Okay, so hi Ivy, I always have spirits lined up, coming to me, and many times they are holding hands. Do you believe these are spirits of people connected in life, or did they meet in the afterlife, and are just guiding one another through? Okay, well, I guess I would say this. I have seen some interesting things that resemble that. I have seen angels look very much the same way, but with angelic energy. Not that they have the wings and the dress necessarily, but they can be taller and like white light, and they do tend to stay in rows like that. Not necessarily holding hands, but just in alignment with one another. As far as what you're talking about, I would say that these are probably people who are working together. The belief system that we have soul groups is, really firmly rooted in the fact that we have past lives together and we'll have future lives together and we're working with the same people again and again and again. Now, say a few members of your soul group didn't make it here yet, or you're not going to be hanging out with them again until a future life. Of course you would hang out with them then when you're on other planes, whether you're meditating, you're doing astral travel, you're dreaming, whatever it is. So yeah, I do believe that these people are, I forget the actual question, something about, are they connected? Okay, are they connected in life, or did they meet in the afterlife and they're just guiding one another through? It's all the same thing. It's all the same day. It's all like, there's no divide. It's just the sense of time and that space that really divides us. So the same people that I feel I'm hanging out with right now, I know that I travel with at night, and I've been put up to tasks by guides and angels before of helping people at night that I haven't met yet, that I may actually never meet sometimes, I think. And those would also be, I believe, part of my soul group at times. And, you're just on another plane spending time together. It must be interesting, too, when you're waking up from these dreams. I'm wondering if you're seeing a lot of, like, lights and orbs and shapes, and people change form again when you start to wake up and the veil is lifted, so they could be, like, a bunch of people in your room, and, the communication is just very interesting around that time. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sounds like you're doing a lot of work at night, probably beyond what you're fully realizing. So we do have a couple classes here. We have Coffee with Your Angels, where I introduce you to each one of your angels through exercises, and I explain a little bit more about working with the angels at night and in your waking, hours. And we have Meet Your Guides, which teaches you the same thing. You meet each one of your guides individually, because that can be a little bit of a tricky process for some people, including your Akashic Record Guide, who holds your past life information, and this would help a lot. So those classes are coming up, I want to say, January, I believe. Both of them, actually. Yup, in January.
You got the dates, Ivy?
I don't.
Okay, the dates exactly for the Coffee with Angels is Thursday, January 28th at 7 p.m. You can register at www.ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com, and the Meet Your Guides class is actually coming up Thursday, January 7th at 7 p.m. Again, you can register at www.ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And then a minute later, Steven says in the feed, I'd ask them myself, but I refuse to communicate with the dead. Whatever your comfort zone is. It's funny how many answers they have, though. It's really quite easy just to communicate with them and then be like, okay, I'm done communicating. Okay, but I have one here from Rowan, and Rowan wants to know, what's the best way to ground yourself and protect yourself? Yeah, that's my question from England. He's too cute. So, okay, what's the best way to ground yourself and protect yourself? Okay, I feel like this is a really big one for you. Meaning that I feel like you have a little bit of a tendency to kind of float away, almost like without yourself. And it's not uncommon at all for people who have abilities to the degree that you have to need to ground and get rooted maybe every 3 hours. I mean, every 6 to 8 hours is a long time to go. So what I teach my students is this. If you can use the cat's eyes, the tiger's eyes, those brown stones that everyone's had as a kid, the basic tiger eye stone will help you to get rooted and grounded. Also, putting your feet flat on the floor and imagining that roots are growing out of the bottom of your feet, anchoring you down to the earth will help a lot. When you can actually feel that pull, almost like the gravity is pulling at the roots coming out of the bottom of your feet, you feel like a tree, that means you're really getting down in there, and that's good for you. There are a million other things that you can do, including shaking it out. Okay, thank you. Including like shaking out any energy that you don't want to have in you. And that's really going to require that you stop throughout the day and you check your body from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet. You're just sort of closing your eyes and you're picking out anything that feels like it really doesn't belong or you don't want to have it in there. Shake it out through your hands. I like to shake 3 times. And you're going to just have to maintain it. I tell people this at the Empathic Means lecture. If you're super gifted, okay, if you're really intuitive, you're a high energy reader, you're going to need to redo this approximately every 3 hours. If you just did it and you just sheltered yourself or you blocked out energy or you got rooted and grounded and then you walk into like a concert, you're going to need to do it far sooner than that. A lot of people are under the misconception that if they do it once a day or if they do it once every like 10 hours, that's good enough. And for very few people is it good enough even on an 8-hour basis. 3 hours, we do. Okay? And that'll help you to be more sort of stable. Okay, thank you so much for that question. I have one from a Jason. Times have been really trying lately. How can I know if life will ever be happy again? I feel a lot of mom energy coming in here with you, and I feel like I'm watching over you, but I almost feel like you're kind of the caretaker in a lot of ways. And she's talking about almost like talking about it more, like communicating more. I feel like you need to communicate more of what you're feeling. But the way that she's saying it is it's almost like with a professional or with someone who's a really good listener but isn't so closely connected to your circle. I feel like somebody who won't be judgmental. I mean, even a scenario like this is nice, but you don't get to talk much, you know? I mean, it's this a type of situation where you can speak your mind without having to worry about judgment or someone cutting you off or someone saying. I feel like sometimes you're surrounded by people who say like, oh, I don't feel that way, oh, it'll be okay. You need to get it out. And you deserve it because you've helped a lot of people. I feel like a sweetheart with you. I feel like a loving, kind person. Give the shirt off my back kind of a person. I feel like you're also kind of really getting into books, or she's showing me all of these books, and I feel like read up more. If you don't want to go talk to somebody right now, go to the self-help aisle or the awakening spiritual aisle in like a Barnes & Noble. Go look at development and growth. Know that everything you've been going through is for your greater good, for your growth, and for you to be even a bigger healer and to be able to go out there and heal other people through it. But first you're going to have to learn your lessons about it. And I feel like communication is going to be a big one for you because I feel like you really don't want to say a whole lot about it, but I'm going to say this too. The way your mind works, you are the kind of person who figures out how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and who you really are, how you want to handle situations when it comes out of your mouth. And somebody like that can't be screening all the time. You have to just run your mouth, and then you'll figure out more as you let it go, okay? All right, thank you so much for that question. Know how much she loves you, really, really adores you. You're a good, good person. From a Nancy, will I ever get out of this hole that I am in? Well, we're all in the same boat here, right? Will I ever get out of this hole that I'm in? Will I ever be happy? It's almost the same identical question, but from a female. Yeah, I mean, this is the question of life, right? Let me see what's going on. I feel like your money is, I almost want to say like the money's jacked up. Like it's like the money, I'm watching you down, almost like you feel like you're in a bit of a pit. And it's like the money's coming in and the money's going right back out. So I feel as though you're getting a sense that with your money and or your work, you can't get ahead. It's like before the paycheck even comes, so to speak, or before I go to another day of work, Okay, I'm not getting promoted. I'm not going to go anywhere with this. So that makes things a little bit difficult. What I'm seeing you do is recognize that there's actually a rope ladder in the hole with you. And I'm supposed to say that over here to the front and over just a bit to the right in this image of this hole is this rope ladder. And I don't know that you really recognized that it was there, but you did recently. And you were like, I don't want to climb up it. And so I feel like at this point it's really choice. It seems like you're supposed to be going in a bit of another direction, and you've got all kinds of, I don't know, what if, but get out, I can't, what do I do? And it's worry and it's fear-based, and you need to climb up that ladder. It was provided for you. You need to get going. That's the only thing that's really going to kind of get you out of this. It's funny though, because it looks like you almost like grab onto it and all of a sudden things start to change. But blind steps in faith, that's where you are right now. Thank you so much for that question. Okay, I have an Edward. Edward says, I want to know if I will always struggle like this. God, it's a heavy week, right?
For everybody,
I'm
I
not the
think.
only one. Want to know if I will always struggle like this and what my dad thinks of my daughter Eden and son Jake. Super cute. And that's the end of the ones from that feed, and I'll go back to text. And do I have a couple more coming in? Okay, you want to wrap it up soon? Okay, we'll give it like 2 more questions. Perfect. Okay, so let me look at that one more time. Will I always struggle like this? What does my dad think of my daughter Eden and son Jake? Okay, let me see what's going on. I have a gentleman who comes in here with a very big energy. He feels to me like a large man, and sometimes that can also represent the personality. When he comes in, he's like wrapping his arms around me, pretending that like I'm you, okay? He wraps his arms from behind me, and I feel very safe. And I feel as though he knew a lot. I feel like he really had an answer for everything, and I feel like he had experienced a lot in his life. So I think that you need to keep really going to him for guidance on everything. He's talking about how beautiful, but chin up, chin up. I feel like with the boy, an old soul, always knowing, old wise eyes, and a little bit of trouble, but I feel more like with Eden, I feel like trouble. I feel like a little wild energy. I feel like very, very young. Also, though, I feel like an old soul. I feel like a very determined spirit. Like, if I'm not interested in something, there's nothing in the world that could make me interested. No, he's around you a really great deal, loves you very, very much. I feel like you have some physical pains going on. It almost starts from up here and then like travels on down my body a little bit. And I feel like you need to learn some breathing exercises and something like a healing technique, maybe like Reiki, but the first thing you could do is to breathe in a color that will bring healing to your body. And I feel like something with your nervous system, almost like sometimes it feels like it's on fire or it's causing maybe numbness, but it felt more like it's like burning. Okay, so he is working with you on that. Yes, things will get better. Give it I am seeing a breakthrough. Definitely like 3 years from now, I don't feel you almost remembering all of this, okay, in the same way. Okay?
Yeah, no,
Two
it was
more?
just 2 more. We got about like 2 more minutes, about a minute and a half, maybe 2 more minutes. Can you maybe one more question?
I could do one more.
Okay,
Yeah,
well let's do one more. We'll save the next one for next week.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see. I have a 913. Okay. Okay. So from a 913. Hi, AV. I'm currently going through a breakup with a man I've been with for a very long time. I'm very confused, though, and wondering if I'm doing the right thing. I feel like that's the nature of the relationship. I feel like I'm in and I'm out, and I'm in and I'm out, and every time I'm almost out, I feel like something happens to pull me back in, but I don't necessarily feel like it's always him. I feel like it's you. So we can't put the finger on him and say, well, he's manipulating the energy and he's pulling you back in. Sometimes that is the case. I do feel like you're both very smart with each other's energy, and you know how to push those buttons, and you do know how to pull back in. But primarily, I feel like you're just having a little bit of trouble picturing anything else. It's almost like when I go and I jump into your energy, I'm seeing a block. When you say, what could the future look like? what future possibilities could there be? What good things could come of this? I see nothing. And that's scary to not be able to touch that. And you're literally just like going out on a limb and hoping that there's something good coming your way. It doesn't matter what's out there. What matters is that you're following what you've intuitively known for a long time that you're supposed to do. You could have nothing where you are, which is essentially what's going on. So what's the difference? Okay, move forward. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Tune in again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern. And again, when The Walking Dead comes on, we will be shifting the time a little bit. Find me on Facebook at Ivy Rivera. Thank you so much.